Hi, my name is Ling Ma, and I just feel very honored and grateful to be on stage with my fellow recipients tonight. I am going to read just the opening of, the last short story from my collection, Bliss Montage. It's called Tomorrow. After the final throes of the relationship, the aimless arguments about the future, the listless waiting for his circular non-decision making, the studying of feminist tracts to recondition herself, she did not come away with nothing. She came away with a baby, which was still forming. It had been a surprise. She'd thought herself past childbearing age. That and her IUD, which had become so deeply embedded in her uterine lining that only the uninsured process of surgical extraction could remove it, had created a false narrative of childlessness. She had not counted on the device to actually expire. Because she was estranged from her body, she did not confirm the pregnancy until it was too risky to reverse anything. A boy. She notified the father. In light of their breakup, it was up to her, he emphasized, what she wanted to do. She didn't know. She barely had time to think. Well, you need some time to think. Treat yourself to a weekend away. When was the last time you left D.C.? He'd asked, and she realized it had been 11 years. On impulse, she bought a flight to Miami. She used up some vacation days and ate imitation crab meat by the sea. The tides ebbed and flowed. The baby moved in concert with them. She knew she would keep it. This realization was not met with celebratory feeling so much as obsessive accounting of her financial health. These were the liquefiable assets at hand. A drawer full of family jewelry, a 401k, an IRA, and a one-bedroom condo purchased with inheritance money after her parents' passing. At the beach, a floating island of trash washed ashore, the frothing waves spewing plastic debris, bottles, tampon applicators, dental floss across the sand. The beachgoers gathered up their personal items and scattered, complaining about how long it would take the park staff to clean up. She took her towel and retreated to the hotel. This was a different, if not inevitable, time. The U.S. was no longer number one. The recyclable waste of other nations was shipped here instead. Migrants no longer rushed its borders. Countries had begun programs of de-Americanization, severing ties with U.S. companies and businesses, and levying fines and taxes in trade. Its most significant cultural artifacts, including the Constitution, the Declaration, were on loan to foreign museums, displayed in clumsily curated exhibitions that lumped them with British curios. The question of how to raise a child in this time and place. If the baby's father were here, he would have said, "Is this a local issue or a global issue?" A local issue, according to his definition, was a contained problem with an identifiable solution. A global issue was a problem created by a complex causal network and therefore had no definitive solution. For that reason, a global issue was not worth worrying about. He said, if you just ask yourself, local or global, half your problems will disappear. Was it a wilted salad, or was it climate change? Was it a poorly developed war movie, or was it our colonial mindset? It was unfortunate that during her only vacation in years, she continued to think about him. She wished he would contact her. Her grief was such that she looked for him in dreams. Was this local or global? In the hotel lobby, the speakers played a languid folk song covered by Nina Simone, "Black is the color of my true love's hair." It flowed over her. Only then did she realize she had always misheard the lyrics as, "Black is the color of my true love's heart." It was in the bathroom of her hotel that, while undressing, she made a puzzling discovery. Removing the linen tunic over her bathing suit, she noticed a protrusion between her legs. She took off her suit and looked at her body in the large mirror. Oh my God. It was an appendage of ruddy flesh. It was coming out of her vagina. She touched it. It seemed to shrink from her touch, though it did not completely dart back inside. It was well an arm, no larger than the size of a Sharpie. The skin was pink. No, the skin was translucent, and the flesh underneath was pink, marbled with tiny, fragile veins that looked like they would bruise if she so much as sneezed. There were fingers, somewhat webbed. It was a baby arm. Was she going into labor? But her water had not broken. Moving carefully, she began to dial 911, but then stopped herself. Was this local or global? She was not in pain. She would have to dip into her savings to call an ambulance to the ER, since most ambulance providers didn't take insurance. She examined the arm again, flexing it at the elbow. Should she have washed her hands first? It shivered a little, as if cold. It was alive. It did not, to the best of her assessment, appear to be in pain. And if she herself was not in pain, was she? Then it must not be an emergency. An emergency is an emergency only if you call it that by name. Thank you.